Hey, good morning, friend. It's Thursday morning. Welcome to the Ride In. It is August the 7th. I hope you're having a great week. This morning I've been thinking about the idea of service. And I gotta tell you that since I've become the senior pastor here at Heritage, my perspective of service has changed a little bit. It's clear in Scripture that service and humility is the mind of Christ, Philippians chapter 2. And I believe that when Jesus was teaching on service to his disciples, his apostles, and he would make statements like, I am not come to be served, but to serve. The greatest among you shall be servant of all. And I do believe that he had in those ideas the principles that would elevate menial tasks, not having titles, not leveraging your authority at the expense of people. And so for much of my life, I view service and greatness through the lens of my own positions, and being a second man, or being behind the scenes, and thinking of greatness and servitude in that light. And for me, that was true. I needed to understand that in the context of my life that I shouldn't aspire. I didn't need to aspire to some special name or special recognition to be great or be seen as great. I have to say, though, now that I've been in a position of leadership and in administration, that for me a struggle has been in that transition to use my time and my effort, my energy, my skills, my abilities in the most profitable way. And I think it helps me in defining what does it mean to serve. And I think at the very core, we serve others by adding value to our life, to their life. And it sounds so John Maxwell, but it's true. I am serving someone when I add value to their life. So what does that mean? It means in the context of my gifts and my calling, I'm not always serving the people when I do a supposed menial task. We see that in Acts chapter 6. The apostles had a calling to do, and they served the people best by giving themselves to prayer and the ministry of the word. And when they would take the time to do certain tasks that were not in their calling, they were doing the people a disservice. And so people had to rise up to fulfill those responsibilities. They were needed, and they were no less important. But they weren't for these specific men to do, because the people of the congregation value couldn't properly be added to their life if the men of God, the spiritual leaders, were spending their time doing things that they weren't specifically called to do. So if we get in our mind that service is a particular act, it has to be unknown, it has to be behind the scenes, it has to involve the sweat of the brow, it has to, energy is expended in so many different ways, mentally, physically, emotionally. And so service, humility of service, and adding the best possible value in the lives of those that we love, it doesn't look the same in every situation. And that's something that God's helped me see, because I've had to reevaluate what it is that I give my time to. And the things that I gave my time to years ago, there are some things that I need to let go or delegate so that I can give myself to other things that are not more important, but they are important, and if I don't do them, they won't get done. Does that make sense? So in the context of your life, as a mother, as a father, as a husband, as a wife, as a person that serves in a particular ministry in the church, in your job, in your vocation, what is it that you're equipped to do? What is it that you're called to do? What is it that only you can do that nobody else can do? So that if you give yourself 100% to that and let other things fall astray, or if it's in your power to do so, to be sure that other people can take up those responsibilities, that's when we're adding the most value to the situation, to our job, to our home, to our church. So as you consider what it is that you do, the actions that you take, whether it be administrative, leading, following, or in some cases both, it depends on who you are and what you're called to do as to what is truly humbly serving. Now, I may take great reward in finding some job around the church that I've always done or used to do. Perhaps I'm good at it. Perhaps I just find fulfillment in it, and it's okay now and then. But if that takes me away from, in my case, shepherding people, preparing Bible messages to feed the flock, being able to counsel, being able to visit, being able to share the gospel, then I've got to be mindful of that, because I'm not adding the most value to the situation. Jesus said that I am among you as he that serveth. And Jesus had it down perfectly, we know that. He served the church, he served his men, he served his followers by being that Messiah, by being that God-man. He served them in teaching them, he served them in guiding them, and he served them by going to the cross. He served all of us. It was never a power trip. It was all about his love for us and what was good and best for us. So think of that as you analyze your own worldview or paradigm of what service is to you. Don't look at someone else and decide if they're a good servant or not, because in their context of life, service may look different than yours. Look at yourself. And to be honest, a humble servant doesn't do that. He just doesn't. We need to look at ourselves, and may God help us to do that. I hope you have a great day today. I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.